All right, so I want to get your opinion on whether you think Nigeria needs more religion or less religion, especially when you look at it in the context of our level of growth and development as a country.
Nigeria don't need more religion. The one on ground is enough. Is enough. And then the level of growth, religion doesn't mean to. There's no any parts of religion in growth of the country. It's separate. It goes separate way. It's different.
Well, I don't think in Nigeria, I don't think the religion is the problem. I think the problem is from the preachers and the followers at times. Because if you can see, many people at times, they go to worship centers, they take time there, instead of them to go to work and look for and earn their ends means like that. People believe that because if you pray too much, you get about the prosperity. But probably people need to start going to work and work hard and pray a little bit. Prayer and hard work equals to success. That's what I think it is.
I think Nigeria needs more religion. There's a vacuum religion presently feels in Nigeria. And I think we'll be having a different conversation if we say that is religion meeting its expectations. I think that's another conversation entirely. But if you remove religion from present Nigeria, I think a lot of things will go wrong.
But one could also make the case that a lot of the problems we have in Nigeria are as a result of our extreme religiosity.
Yeah, extreme, you say. So if we are making a case for the fact that it's extreme, it is not because religion in itself is whether good or bad. It is because there's something we are taking too far. So everything, there's tendency to overstretch everything. Talk of science. It's possible to use science for a very bad thing. It's possible to use entertainment for a very bad thing. Entertainment can be good, it can be bad. So if there are issues that need to be addressed, which I quite agree. There are a lot of issues that need to be addressed about religion. Those are the issues we should address. To scrap religion altogether in Nigeria, I think it still feels a very large vacuum. If we remove it, it's going to be very devastating.
I think Nigeria needs more religion because with the look of things, it is only God that can help us in this country. We have to do everything with the help of God because in the Bible, it was even stated that the builders are building in vain if God's hand is not in it. So if we talk about growth and development, it is also the same as the context in the Bible that it's like we are building a new Nigeria and God has to be part of it. So God has to be part of it in a way that we have to invite religion.
No, I don't think religion has helped us economically speaking.
Also,
because I feel the main religion in Nigeria is Christianity and Muslim religion.
okay.
So even if you think of politics and all, you're talking about. I'm just trying to explain. You see that people are always biased at times based on their religion. That I want a Muslim to rule and this and that. Even when we buy stuff, when it's a Christian that is buying, is a Christian that is selling it, they may not want to buy it, even if it's a Muslim. So people are always biased economically. They always want to buy stuff for people from their religion, and even those in power. Those are always biased at times. So I feel people are biased. That's why it's affecting the economic.
I feel all religion in the world, whether Muslim, whether Christianity, interrogate itself. They're always opposing sides. This side believe this side believe that. Okay. And I think it is in the interest of each religion to really interrogate each other. If there's a side that is believing this and a side is believing this, maybe it's a good thing that each side interrogates each other. And if possible, come to a conclusion. However, most of the times, we have to resort to something outside of religion to interrogate religion sometimes. Because sometimes when you're invested in something, you do not see the flaws in it. Sometimes it takes something outside of what you do, what you daily do, to help you to see certain flaws in certain things. So the point is, if of course religion will always bring dogmatism, you will be dogmatic about it because it's religion, and in that case there's no way we can depend on religion in itself to rectify all of the maybe vices in it. We have to resort to some other things.
I actually share your perspective on that. We need a healthy dose of skepticism to check the excesses of religion. I personally believe that. However, do you think the Nigerian society allows for skepticism?
I don't think any religious society, any religious community would not allow for skepticism. It's not likely. It's really not likely, except that society are not religious. As long as you are religious, some things is not easily put together. So if you're a religious person, it will be difficult for you to be a skeptist. If you're a skeptist, it will be difficult for you to be a religion. But the point is, whether we like it or not, the two can learn from each other. There's every high tendency that religious people or religious leaders sometimes can do certain things or manipulate people to do certain things. And in such situation, maybe for fear or for one reason or the other, those within the religion may not be able to see what their leaders are doing wrong or what they themselves are doing wrong. A skeptic in that situation can come in and point out those flaws. The same way a skeptic too, if you just doubt everything, you won't find meaning to life. And somehow, whether we like it or not, religion helps us to give meaning to life. So I think both sides can work with each other.
That's an indirect way of saying that we need less religion in Nigeria. Or what do you think?
I think religion is just here to cover our excesses. Because if you can see, well, I'm a Muslim, but the 10 Commandments of Moses, that thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, all those things. Because if there is no guideline in human life, it will just be a jungle. Everybody, banana republic like that per se. But if we have religion, it will curb our excesses and it will make us to know what we are doing. But look at countries that don't even have religion like us. They are more advanced technologically, maybe Japan, China, and US, all those things like that, all those countries like that. So it's not as if our religiosity is our problem. It is our psyche and how we take religion, how we follow religion. We don't really follow the religion how it is. Even in the religion, they do not say you should leave your work and sleep in the church or sleep at the mosque, or you should just take the whole day praying. Of course, you need to work hard to make.
Do you think there is a commensurate impact? Like if you look at how religious centers have peaked over the years, do you think there is a commensurate impact in our growth and development as a country? Or do you think the more religious we get, the poorer we get?
Anyway, it's in two ways. Those people that are wise in the religion, they are growing. It's have impacts. But there are some people, they take it to extreme. It's derail the growth of the growth of the country. But those people that are wise, they use religions to make people to be for people to be better. I don't know how to explain that.
Okay, so the thing is, one could argue that a lot of the problems you have in Nigeria today are directly linked to religion. Talk about terrorism, right? The idea that we have a large percentage of Nigerians that are unproductive. They don't have anything to do. So on a typical Monday morning, you find people going to church to pray for God to somehow provide for them and all that. So my point is, one could make a valid case that religion has contributed to how Nigeria is today. What do you say about that?
The fault is not to the religion, it's the people's mindset. As an individual and as a person with a good mindset, you have to be at work on a Monday morning and not in the church. I'm not saying we are not supposed to be in the church, but we should know the right time for everything. Everything has its own time and season. So we know that on a Monday morning you are supposed to be at work, and on a Sunday nobody will fight you for going to church. So we need to do everything at the right time. The person that is in church on a Monday morning is doing the right thing at the wrong time.
Has Christianity lived up to that picture you painted, that if everyone became a Christian tomorrow, Nigeria would be a better place? So the question is, of course, a substantial percentage of Nigerians are Christians. They go to church. Mm-hmm. Now, despite that, we have the problems of corruption. We have the problem of, you just name it, right? So many problems. We have the problem of poverty in this country. Now, despite the fact that people go to church, so would you say Christianity has lived up to the role it is meant to play in a society?
Honestly, no, it hasn't. But that does not stop the fact that there will not always be issues or problems in a place, in a community. Even in scriptures, the Israelites were always sinning, like falling back from sin. Even in New Testament, the apostles, they sin, they go back and all of that. There's chaos. We have trials and temptation, tribulations. Christ already promised that it will happen. So that will still happen. But still, the Christians we have are not living up to expectation. It will have been lesser, the problems and issues we have, if we are all living to that expectation of how Christ wants us to live as a community in Nigeria.
Okay, so the thing is, what do you think led to this type of religiosity we have in Nigeria? What specifically led to the way and manner in which we practice religion, in the way in which we believe it has answers to all our socio-economic and socio-political problems in this country?
Bro, I think it's poverty. Poverty causes all that. Because then, if there is job, if people go to work, if people, like all these countries that are advanced, when you go there, there is light, there is infrastructure, there is basic amenities. If you don't have basic amenities, you don't have light, you don't have infrastructure in place, people will think, okay, since there is no physical being that can help them, it is the spiritual. They go back spiritual and try to, people have to fill that space. There is already emptiness in Africa. There is poverty. That poverty created a big vacuum and emptiness. So people want God to help them to fill that space.
Okay, I get your point. So if you say Nigeria needs more religion, so the question is, the level of religion we have so far, how has that paid off for us?
It has paid off, because if God's hand is not in Nigeria's case now, we would have been worse than this. We would have likely ended up like Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, so back to your earlier comment that you think Nigeria needs more religion. Now, let us look at this in the context of growth and development, in the context of leadership and policy as well. Would you agree that Nigerians outsource their civic responsibilities and duties to God?
Certainly, yeah, certainly.
So if
Sadly so, actually.
Now, if we do that, don't you think the proper thing to do is to de-emphasize religion, so Nigerians could, quote and unquote, wake up to their civic responsibilities and duties in order to rescue this country, in order to take our destiny into our hands?
If I'm going to be honest, religion within itself would not for itself admit. Okay, let me say first that I believe that religion as we practice it in Nigeria cannot give us development. Certainly cannot. Just merely depending on God for development to happen, for God to choose a leader for you, cannot give us development. But the truth is that religion in itself, if you leave religion to itself, it will continue like that. You have to be a little bit of a skeptic for such mindset, for such belief, widely held belief to live. So if you say we should leave it up to religion, or religion should interrogate itself and come up with, I don't think it's going to work. In the era of science, for instance, the medieval period, for instance, it took the interrogation between religion, science, and philosophy for the Renaissance to come. So something else to interrogate religion. Religion in itself would always advance the argument that we have to depend on God for everything. Even sometimes we don't have to work. We need a little bit of skepticism to make a balance.
Right, so to play the devil's advocate, so we can also see examples of countries like Qatar, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates. These are deeply religious countries, but they're also wealthy. So how is it that they are able to manage religion with development? What is the excuse with us in Nigeria?
Yeah, they try. Thank God you asked that question. They separate the wheat from the chaff, if I can use that. Yeah. They try to. This is religion. This is the world. The worldview. Religion mostly is our salvation. Up there, maybe you want to go to paradise or anything. But this world is not about, if I'm religious, I will make it in this world. No. If you are religious or not, you have to follow the rules. There are rules, guidelines. You have to work hard. You have to be trustworthy. You need to be truthful. That's how you live in this world. But the day after, you have to worship God, and because people believe Yeah, like me now, I'm a firm believer that there is a after. Maybe if I do well and I pray well and I follow the guidelines, maybe I'll go to paradise. But in this world, you need to remove religion from daily life. You have to go to work, hustle, be calculative, save money, and do some things for yourself and your family.
Do you think prayers can fix this country?
Yes, very much.
So in other words, Nigerians are not praying enough.
It's not that we are not praying enough, but some people, if a sinner cannot go unpunished, a sinner cannot, or if the sinner is getting punished, the righteous will also get to share in it. So I think that is the case for Nigeria now.
Well, as I said earlier, prayer and hard work leads to success. So we need to work hard for our prayer to even go anywhere. But you don't work towards the prayer. You are just praying that God do this for me, and you don't work towards that. It will not work. Prayer alone cannot help Nigeria. So we need to work hard, and our leaders, we need to pray for our leaders, but they need to do things the way it's supposed to be. So